ड्रोन हमले में 9 दीगर शिदत पसंद भी हलाक हुए हैं। मकामी मीडिया
This is Salaam Radio, Peterborough's Muslim Community Radio, broadcasting on 106.2 FM and online.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Peace and blessings be upon you. Welcome. Delighted to have your company. My name is Ansar Ali. You are listening to Salaam Radio on 106.2 FM, online, salamradio.co.uk, or via our apps on your smartphone. It is Friday, the 20th of October 2017 of the Gregorian calendar, and 29th of Muharram, year 1439 of the lunar Islamic calendar. How has your Friday been? It's been busy for me. Fantastic day, generally speaking, but saddened to say that once again I attended a funeral of a young man, 47 years of age, who died, a Peterborough gentleman who passed away earlier in the week, and I attended his janazah amongst many other hundreds of people at the Faizan-e-Medina Mosque. And last week, you would recall, my dear brothers and sisters, that when I came here to present my program, I said that I had just attended a janazah as well. And last week, we saw the janazah of a 53-year-old local man. Life is unpredictable. One thing that is for certain, that all of us one day will leave this world, and no one knows when. No one knows when we will die, we will leave this world. So the responsibility that all of us have is to make sure that we live our lives according to the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also the teachings of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, so that we are successful in the hereafter when we leave this world. And when we leave this world, those people that we leave behind, they miss us, because we have been kind to them, we have been considerate, we have been compassionate, we have been caring. And that is the ethos of Islam, our beautiful religion, that we are trying to promote here on Salaam Radio with your support and with your du'as. If you had a good week at work, any ups and downs, I hope more ups than downs. And if you want to give me a call, share your week with us and what you are looking forward to at the weekend. Why not give us a call on 01733 602 133 here on Salaam Radio. And it's going to be a busy weekend for me. Tomorrow there is this demonstration, and I'll be working with members of the community to make sure that everything passes away in a calm manner and nothing becomes counterproductive, particularly as far as our Muslim communities and the law-abiding communities of this beautiful city of Peterborough are concerned. So my young brothers in particular, if you are going to be participating in any of those events tomorrow, please make sure that you consider those around you. You do not do anything against the law. Don't cause anyone else inconvenience. Go about your business in a peaceful manner, in a respectable manner, so that there isn't any news that will cause harm to our beautiful religion of Islam. We're going to start with this one. Just a reminder once again that, as always, inshallah, at about 5:10, I'll be joined by Joel Lammy, who's a reporter with the Peterborough Telegraph, and I will be discussing with Joel some of the news stories locally that have been making the headlines in the Peterborough Telegraph. But we'll start with this. Allahu, 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 Allah, Allah.
Allahu, Allahu, Allah. As I look to nature's beauty, dazzled am I, knowing everything calls on you, the Lord Most High.
الله الذي يهدينا جميعا، الله الذي نعتز به جميعا.
الله 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 बरकतों से दामन भरता है तू. Wer ist der Mächtigste und der Barmherzigste? Wer hört unsere Gebete und schickt uns die Hilfe? Allahu, 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 Allah, Allahu, 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 Allah, Allahu, 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 সৃষ্টি করেছো সুন্দর পৃথিবী, মানুষ পশু পাখি সাগর নদী.
Beten du, Allah, te adorim. Beten prete yedim kerkoim.
Allahu, 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 Allah, Allahu, 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 Allah. Mon Seigneur, vous êtes le seul que j'adore. Je m'adresse à vous avec un cœur plein d'amour.
تذكرك أنني مجدرجككو مثل رازاني أمرازتو.
Allahu, 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 Allah, Allahu, 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 Allah.
ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار.
Allahu, 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 Allah, Allahu, Allahu, Allahu,
Allahu, Allahu, Allah. Beautiful nasheed that you've just heard here on Salaam Radio. Assalamu alaikum to you, brothers and sisters. And we may have one or two surprise guests this evening as well in the program. I can't reveal anything at the moment because I'm not too sure about the availability of the guests that we are hoping to come along to the Salaam Radio studios. If they do, I will certainly make sure that I get all the information to you that I possibly can. Inshallah, I will do that. And in the meantime, if you want to give me a call with any comments, any thoughts about your week and your weekend ahead, the telephone lines are open. The number is 01733 602 133. Very shortly, I will be joined by Joel Lammy, who is a reporter with the Peterborough Telegraph, and we will be discussing with the Joel some of the local news stories that have been making the headlines in the Peterborough Telegraph. That's to come on the program. And as I was saying earlier, I want to hear about your preparations for the weekend. How has your week gone? And also, how are you planning your weekend? What will you be doing? What are you getting up to? Because I'm hoping to go, inshallah, to Leicester. I'm hoping to go to Leicester to hear and listen to and see and meet Mahar Zain in Leicester performing live his beautiful nasheeds, and inshallah Salaam Radio team is going to be well represented there. So let's welcome Joel Lammy. Hello Joel, how are you?
Yeah, very good. How are you doing?
Not too bad, thank you. How has the week been for you?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, no complaints at all.
Good.
Things going all right.
You're always a busy young man, aren't you?
I try my best. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay, let's go straight to the headlines in the Peterborough Telegraph, and I'm looking at your website, and the first one that I see is a story that has been taking quite a number of pages in the print version of the Peterborough Telegraph, as well as on your website as well. It's the Rhubarb Bridge issue. And the government is going to award £3.85 million towards this project. What more can you tell us, Joel?
Yeah, we've just had this confirmed this afternoon. So the money is being awarded by the Department for Transport. It's going to go to the Cambridge and Peterborough Combined Authority, which will then be spent on Rhubarb Bridge, whether it's on a replacement bridge, whether it's on a series of pedestrian crossings instead of the bridge. We're not sure yet. What I can say is the decision on how the money will be spent will be made on Wednesday, and will be something that we'll be covering fully in the paper the following day. So I'm interested to see how that money is spent. As I say, as you pointed out, it's been a long-running issue here in terms of what happens with the bridge, whether it's demolished and whether it's replaced after that or not.
Yes, there was a petition that was put before the council, and it's a bit of an icon for the city, hasn't it? It's been there for the last 4 decades, I believe. So people are quite passionate to keep the bridge as it is and see some repairs done to it. What have people been telling you, Joel, as you've spoken to people who are particularly concerned about the future of the Rhubarb Bridge?
Yeah, well, a number of people. It's one of those stories which has got a lot of attention locally. I mean, more than pretty much any other story I've done in the sort of 3+ years I've been here. A lot of people really are concerned about the crossings which are going to come in place. So this is just below the bridge at the A47, A15 sort of roundabout. It's going to be a series of crossings, pedestrian crossings to get around. A lot of people have serious safety concerns about that. The council has always said that the scheme is safe, and that the scheme has been approved previously before as well. Is what their argument has always been. But I think it came more into light sort of once the full details were announced. That's when people suddenly went, "Ooh, we're not so sure about this," and the council has now agreed to sort of pull back a bit and look again at all the options before making the final decision.
Absolutely good. I'm sure that the right decision will be made in the end for the best interests of the city of Peterborough. Let's look forward to that decision, and no doubt you will keep us posted here on Salaam Radio. Joel, moving on, health is a very emotive subject these days, and one of the other lines that I note on your website, 24-hour wait for patient at a Peterborough City Hospital accident and emergency. Second longest wait in the country.
Yeah, it's the story. It was contained in NHS figures released this week. Now, the hospital says that it can't give out any details on the patient or the case in particular because it would breach patient confidentiality. So what we can say is it was 2 minutes short of 24 hours. The patient was waiting to be admitted. That means admitted basically means that they're taken to the correct ward. So they would have been seen in that time at A&E, but they wouldn't have potentially been in the right ward straight away. The hospital said in a statement that sometimes, there are cases where there are complex needs, which might mean they have to stay longer in the emergency department than normal. The government target is to be seen within, or to be treated or admitted within 4 hours. So it's a long way. The exact circumstances aren't fully clear, but I think it's worth pointing out. A lot of people have said, sometimes we mention negative stories about the hospital, and in this case, we're not saying the hospital's in any way at fault. And as well, we have next week, a sort of planning, I think, 3 pages on hospital heroes. So, it's worth pointing that out as well. That
absolutely. I think I took my father there a couple of weeks ago, and he was very well looked after, my elderly father. Yeah. So you're right. There are going to be challenges and issues as well, but the NHS staff at the hospital doing some wonderful work as well, and that should not go unacknowledged. Yeah, we should always remind ourselves of the care that the health professionals do provide people when they end up in the hospitals here in Peterborough. Okay, Joel, we'll have to move on. Travellers, court action to be taken against travellers on a Peterborough road. Again, this is another ongoing issue that Peterborough faces quite regularly at this time of the year in particular.
Yeah, it just seems it's a problem the city has not really managed to get a grips with in terms of finding places to move them onto. In this case, this was a group of travellers in Goldhay Way in Alton Goldhay. The council is now taking legal action against them. Excuse me. So we will. The travellers should have left by now. The council will be in court on Tuesday to get an order to evict. If they don't move after that, bailiffs get brought in, so we'll have a definitive update sort of the middle part of next week, whether they moved on, whether they move on voluntarily or whether they are forcibly moved on.
And Joel, if I can ask you a question, please forgive me that if you think that this is probably too much beyond the scope of our discussion. As I said earlier, it's an issue that we regularly face, travellers illegally parking up. You've been following these issues quite regularly for the last couple of years that, you've attended council meetings, etc. Do you see any light at the end of the tunnel? Do you think that those in positions of making those decisions are going to come up with some solution?
They are trying. The current solution, there is a sort of an emergency stopping place, which means which they're sort of converting to what they call a sort of temporary stopping place, which means you can have travellers there for more periods of time. But at the minute, they only have one site to move travellers onto, and from all the works they've done, all the research for years and years with lots of sort of working groups, they haven't really found any other sites to create for travellers to go. And unless they find somewhere, and I think they're going to have to literally look at buying land, there will be no solution, because unless you have somewhere to put them, which is suitable, and at the minute they only have one place, there's nothing they can really do. So unless something is done in terms of finding somewhere else, there will be no solution. It's a tricky situation.
It is, and it's causing a lot of people inconvenience and extra cost to the authorities as well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, thank you, Joe. Let's move on. Drugs is a big issue as well. Again, it takes quite a lot of space in the Peterborough Telegraph quite regularly as well. A big issue. Lots of people concerned. £3.2 million drugs bust in Peterborough. Sixth man has been charged. Give us a rundown of that one, please.
Yeah, well, this is our front page in yesterday's paper. Six people have now been charged. This is a £3.2 million drugs bust in Peterborough. I mean, that's a staggering amount. The latest person to be charged is somebody from Peterborough. There is another couple of people from Peterborough as well, people from London on top of that who have been charged. It's 314 kilograms of cannabis is what they're charged with conspiring to supply this in Peterborough. It's an interesting story, how it's gone about. Essentially, it was all sort of kicked off following a police chase. Essentially, all the details are in the paper. I'm not to go through all of it, but yeah, and it's remarkable how sort of a police chase has now led to this being uncovered and and now court action being taken. So
absolutely, I mean, this has been disrupted. 3.2 million pounds, as you said, that is a staggering amount, isn't it? And in Peterborough, so well done to the authorities for that robust action as well. And let's hope that those who are being charged will be brought to justice. Okay, let's move on. EDL are coming to Peterborough to demonstrate. There are going to be counter protests as well by the Peterborough Trade Unions Council, and also the Unity event in Peterborough as well, at the Beach School as well. Just tell us a bit more about that, please.
Yeah, well, it's the protest of the EDL are coming, I think, for the third time. The protest is going to be sort of half two. It's start outside the Posh Stadium and move towards the Magistrates Court. There's also going to be a counter protest at about 12:30. The Key Theatre car park, and there's also a Unity event at Beach School as well, which is taking place as a sort of counter to what's taking place in the EDL. We don't know how many are coming, but we think it potentially could be 30, could be a little bit more who are coming. So we will see on that. We'll obviously be keeping everyone up to date tomorrow onwards on what happens, and
no, thank you for that. And really, the message from Salaam Radio is that let's hope that everything ends peacefully, and Peterborough doesn't receive the wrong sort of headlines, and everyone who's going to go to the counter demonstrations to show unity of diversity here in Peterborough, how we celebrate diversity. Please make sure that you do not give any concern to the authorities or other people going about their Saturday shopping, etc., using Peterborough City Centre. We want to make sure that everything continues in its usual manner here in Peterborough. Sports next, Joel, if I may. You're a big Posh fan as well. All of a sudden, Posh, well, I don't know, really. Usually it's about towards the end of the season when, they start to drift away, but they began quite well, and all of a sudden they became unstuck again against Gillingham as well.
Yeah, well, they managed to get a point on Tuesday at Southend, which is not a bad point. Interesting, they're at Scunthorpe tomorrow. Alan Swan will be there covering for us. He's had the preview today with Grant McCann, the manager, who's in confident mood that they've turned a corner at Southend. It's tricky. You never know. It's odd, isn't it? They beat Wigan, who were probably the strongest team in the division, with a storming second half performance, and then they go and lose to two of the bottom sides in the league, sort of straight afterwards. And who knows why that is? I mean, they're still I don't think they turn into a bad team overnight. They still have good players, and if they can just get a win, they're still in around the playoffs, which isn't a bad position to be. So who knows? It might just be a blip. Every side will go through a blip. In fact, Oxford, who beat Peterborough recently, I think lost. It was 3 or 4. I think it was 3 in a row they'd lost before the Peterborough match, and then they suddenly went. Now I think 4 wins in a row. So it changes quickly. So let's hope for a good result tomorrow.
Let's hope so. Yes, let's hope they can do better tomorrow. That's the Posh, and you're still looking forward to the Ashes, no doubt. England may be going to Zimbabwe as well. I heard earlier.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I heard something that in the Great One, but I think that's still, to be done. But I think they stopped going touring Zimbabwe, but I think some talks are taking place that England may resume touring or playing against Zimbabwe as well. So more to come on that as well. And I was watching Pakistan taking on Sri Lanka earlier with my elderly father, actually, for about half an hour after I'd given them a bath. And my dad probably doesn't remember what was happening now, but he was quite enjoying himself, actually, watching cricket. And so dad suffers from dementia, and quite progressive as well. But he was really enjoying watching the cricket, so. But I kept reminding him who was playing. And Pakistan are doing really well, and they will be playing against Sri Lanka in a 2020 game on next Monday in Lahore, which is good to see international cricket returning to Pakistan, and Pakistani fans no doubt will be looking forward to welcoming Sri Lanka in Lahore at the Gaddafi Stadium. Joel, that's about it, you and me. Thank you very much indeed from you to all our listeners.
Have
a nice weekend.
Great. You too. And then just very, very, very quickly, we are doing a feature next week on Peterborough's been named as the shed capital of the UK. If you have any sheds out there, please get in touch with us and send us your sheds in, and we'll try and feature them in the paper next week.
Oh, that's something to look forward to. Shed capital of the UK. That's Peterborough. Joel, thank you very much indeed. Have a nice weekend.
You too. Thank you, Ansar.
Thank you.
Bye.
We're going to go to a break now, and I'll be back with you after this break. Inshallah, stay right where you are.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
I've just come out of Penny Appeal's orphans accommodation. Brothers and sisters, they've got a kitchen where they're getting fresh food cooked and served to them. They've got foster mothers looking after them. These are how orphans should be looked after. Sponsor an orphan for pennies a day. Call 03000 11 11 11 or visit the website pennyappeal.org. Remember, small change, big difference.
Iqra Academy is the only Muslim girls' school in Cambridgeshire where your daughter will develop her knowledge of Islam and the national curriculum in a safe environment. Ofsted has judged the teaching and learning, leadership and management, pupil behaviour and personal development as good in June 2017. Iqra Academy's qualified staff teach in small classes, and the school is producing sports teams who have a track record of succeeding at national level. With reduced fees and a good rating 3 times from Ofsted, why not consider Iqra Academy for your daughter? Enroll now to avoid disappointment. Please contact 01733 331 433 or email admin@iqraacademy.org.uk.
Do you have lots of clutter at home or in the office that needs to be kept but nowhere to keep it? Ivet Self-Storage offers a secure, affordable, clean and dry home for your belongings. We have security systems in place which are monitored 24 hours a day, ensuring that your items are safe. With a simple monthly payment, Ivet Self-Storage provides secure and tailored facilities to meet your specific requirements, whether short or long term. We offer the best prices and longest opening hours in Peterborough. For more information, please call on 01733 306 456 or visit us at Ivet Way, Westwood.
Gems and jewels, wise sayings, interesting events, and moral lessons from Islamic history. A mother who spent wisely on her son.
A man came back to his home in Al-Medina after many years of journey. He asked his wife about his son and an amount of 30,000 dinars which he had entrusted her before starting his journey. His wife said to him, "First go and pray in the mosque of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then I will tell you about them." He went to the Prophet's mosque and saw a gathering of many eminent attendees. And as soon as the crowd gave him space, he saw Rabi'ah, his son, there. Rabi'ah had become a famous scholar and was heading a study circle at the mosque, which included the likes of Malik, Hassan, Zayd, Ibn Ali al-Lahbi, al-Musamma'i, and other figures of repute and intellect from Al-Medina. The father confirmed the scholar's identity with a man from the gathering and then left the crowd to return to his home. He said to his wife, "Indeed, Allah has elevated your son to an unparalleled level." His wife responded, "What is more beloved to you, 30,000 dinars or the status that your son has achieved?" He replied, "Certainly the ranking that my son has achieved." His wife continued to explain, "I have spent all of that wealth upon him." The father replied in a satisfied tone,
Broadcasting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salaam Radio.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the second half of the program. I'm your host. My name is Ansar Ali. Delighted to have your company, and I am absolutely delighted to welcome my next guest here on Salaam Radio, in the Salaam Radio studios, Tony Khan. Good afternoon. Good evening to you.
Good evening. Very happy to be
It's
here.
5:30, so I don't know whether to call it afternoon or evening, you know.
Yeah, I'll go with evening, yeah.
We'll go with the evening. Okay, thank you. Good evening. Thank you very much, Tony, for coming
you.
along. Refugees coming into Europe, into UK. We've seen some horrific pictures, graphic details, people trying to come to safer shores, escaping conflicts in their own countries, and at times they have not been welcomed. They have gone on bouts, paying a lot of money to these traffickers, and that have been unsafe as well. And we've seen many fatalities, unfortunately. One of the things that I say, you know, and I'm sorry, sometimes one cannot help but give personal viewpoints. There's enough in the world for us to be able to share and everyone to live in peace and enjoy life and have a roof over their head and have plenty of food as well. There's enough in this world if only we as humanity learn to share more. But Tony, you work with refugee support. Just tell us a bit more about some of the challenges you and your project faces.
Well, refugee support operate mainly in Greece, in 4 separate refugee camps there, and they're responsible for providing people with food and clothing. They set up kitchens and schools. So a lot of different tasks involved there, really. A lot of caps to wear.
Yes. And what are people, you know, when they're coming there, you know, no doubt, you know, they are, traumatized of what they've left behind as well. And no doubt you talk to your colleagues working on the ground as well, you know. What sort of stories are they telling us? Sometimes when you read in the mainstream media, you don't get the full picture. Can you enlighten our Salaam Radio listeners a little bit more? You know, when people come into Greece from those conflict-torn countries, you know, how are they received?
I think the reception in Greece hasn't been too bad, as a matter of fact. I mean, Greece has a lot of problems of its own, but they're still managing to do what they can for the refugees. When I was there last Christmas, I mean, the locals bought Christmas presents for all of the children.
So the ordinary members of the Greek society welcome them?
For the most part, yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
They have their extremists as well.
Unfortunately, that's, wherever we go, you'll have those who are not quite as accommodating.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, what about further on? Once they've reached Greece, Greece can only do so much. You know, what about rest of Europe? And you talk about in this Europe's refugee crisis. How are these crises being dealt with?
Well, the people in Greece are basically stuck in the middle. They can't go forward, they can't go back. So in Alexandria, the camp which I have most experience, some people have been stuck there for 1.5 years waiting for their asylum applications to be seen.
Yeah, and in terms of refugee support, you said that you work on the ground in Greece as well, as they arrive as well. What sort of awareness raising are you doing here in this country, in the UK?
Well, I'm just trying to promote refugee support. Really, this is something people can do to support refugees. A lot of people might not know what they can do. They might not read much about it in the newspapers nowadays, like they did in 2015. So we're just sort of raising awareness of what people can do.
Right, and you got this event at the John Clare Theatre on the 23rd?
Yeah, so the founders of Refugee Support are touring the country all of this month, and they're coming to the John Clare Theatre at the Central Library in Peterborough on this Monday the 23rd. So if people arrive at 7 p.m, they can get some refreshments and everything, and then they can go see a presentation from one of the founders, a man called Paul Hutchings. And there'll be volunteers there telling their stories, and they're hoping to sort of open it up to the audience as well and create a real discussion.
Okay, well, let's hope that people who, I know there's a lot of people who are interested in what's happening in terms of support for refugees. They want to find out more, etc. And I just hope that a lot of people will turn up for this event to find out more and hear some real life stories of the refugees at the event that you're organising on Monday, the 23rd of October at John Clare Theatre in Central Library. Doors open at 7 p.m. Refreshments will be available. Please go along and support and ask any questions. Find out more about Europe's refugee crisis. Tony, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. And if people would like to know more, they can go to refugeesupport.eu.
refugeesupport.eu, that's the website. Please find out more and do whatever you can to support and find, really whatever, and support the people who are doing the work on the ground in Greece and elsewhere, trying to support people who have been affected, have lost so much as well, leaving their conflict-torn countries, looking for peace, looking for safety, and when they come here, in some certain places, they are not as welcome. What sort of humanity have we got at the moment? How should we be responding as human beings? If you got any thoughts or views on what you heard from Tony about Europe's refugee crisis, give us a call on 01733 602 133.
الصبح بدا من طلعته والليل دجى من وفرته ہے نور سحر چہرے سے تیرے اور شب کی رونق زلفوں سے اللہ 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 کنز الکرم مولا النعم هادي الأمم شریعته نعمت کا خزینہ ہے مولا گنجینہ رحمت ہے آقا ہادی ہے تمامی امت کے اور رہنما ہے شریعت کے اللہ 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 ساعتی الشجر نطق الحجر شق القمر بإشارته انگلی کے اشارے پیڑ چلے اعجاز سے پتھر بول اٹھے اور چاند ہوا ہے دو ٹکڑے انگشت کے ایک اشارے سے اللہ 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 جبریل اتا لیلۃ اسرا وغاب دعاه لحضرته جبریل امی پیغام خدا لے کر آئے تھے شب اسرا اللہ نے عرش پہ بلوایا قربت کا شرف ان کو بخشا اللہ 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 اللہ
Allahu, Allahu, Allah. A beautiful nasheed that you've heard here on Salaam Radio. Assalamu alaikum to you, brothers and sisters. From me, Ansar Ali. Delighted to have your company. I was talking to Joel Lammy earlier from the Peterborough Telegraph, telling us that the EDL will be holding a demonstration here in Peterborough. There is going to be a counter protest. There's going to be a unity event as well. And Joel was telling us that the authorities are telling them that there are not going to be many members of the EDL coming to Peterborough. And joining me now on the line is brother Muhammad Saeed, who's going to be live talking to me and sharing with us about the unity event that they've got planned for tomorrow. Brother Muhammad Saeed, Assalamu alaikum. You're the Vice Chairman of Community First Residents Association. Delighted to have you here on Salaam Radio.
Wa alaikum salam. Sorry I couldn't come to the studio. I'm just a bit busy at work at the moment.
No, I can understand that. That's no problem. We understand that it's busy for some people this time of the day. Not a problem whatsoever. We are delighted to have you on the phone talking to us. Unity event tomorrow. Just tell us a bit more, please. What's its purpose?
Well, basically, we've been looking at holding an event for a while, and different things keep coming up. We were planning one in the summer, and then the Millfield Festival arrived. So we didn't get a chance to do our event then because we didn't want it to coincide with another event. And the announcement of the EDL sort of got us thinking about maybe doing an event, not to counter that, but just to show the unity of the people of Peterborough. So we've got quite a few people have shown interest in coming down. We initially had a slightly earlier timing, and then we've moved it so that it should coincide with just after the TUC demonstration against the EDL. So people that attend there will also be able to come and...
so this unity event is a celebration of diversity in Peterborough.
That's right, yes. So we've got many different aspects of the Peterborough community coming down. We have the local police will be in attendance, the city council, councillors, the community, different aspects of the community, the churches, the mosques. We also have, yesterday I got a phone call and I had a request from the mayor to send him an official invitation. So we've sent that through, and I've got a reply today. So the mayor should be joining us tomorrow as well. And we have the fire brigade, the police, a representative from the Army Reserves. We did have Posh on the line, but due to changing of timing, they couldn't send anybody over. But maybe next time. So yeah, it should be a good small little event.
Promises to be. It's a family event as well. You're encouraging families to come along.
Yes, for all the community really. So families, children, parents, mothers, fathers, everybody's welcome.
And it starts at what time?
2 p.m. Finishes at 4 p.m. at the Beaches Primary School, Beach Avenue.
So come along, and what are you saying to, as the Vice Chairman of Community First Residents Association, how should people be reacting to the presence of EDL tomorrow in Peterborough?
The EDL will come and go like they do before. The people of Peterborough have not really entertained them very much. There'll be a small presence of the EDL. They'll be here, they'll say their piece, and they'll be gone. But we as a community, we are the ones that have to live with each other. So we have to make sure that our community is united. And anybody that steps on in to divide our communities, we have to basically stand together and say no, we remain as one. And that's the only way you can have a cohesive society.
Absolutely. United community, all of us coming together, celebrating diversity of the wonderful city of Peterborough, and nothing will come to divide us. That is the message from Muhammad Saeed, the Vice Chairman of Community First Residents Association. Brother Muhammad Saeed, thank you very much indeed for taking time out from your busy work schedule to talk to us here on Salaam Radio.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow, inshallah.
Inshallah. Look forward to all the very best with a unity event at the Beaches School. Allah Hafiz. That's Muhammad Saeed, who I was talking to just now here on Salaam Radio. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters, for all your support and your comments that you keep sending us. How wonderful you think Salaam Radio is. What a good job that we're doing in promoting Islam, promoting cohesion and diversity, and making sure that we all live together as human beings, loving each other, appreciating each other, and valuing each other, because that is the message of our beautiful religion of Islam. And Salaam Radio is set up to do just that on behalf of all our communities here in Peterborough. Thank you very much for that, and we're always looking for feedback from our listeners. If you have anything that you want to share with us, you want to tell us any advice, any information, or any compliments that you want to send us about our programs, you can always drop us a line. This is our email address, info@salamradio.co.uk.
खुसरवी अच्छी लगी ना सरवरी अच्छी लगी खुसरवी अच्छी लगी ना सरवरी अच्छी लगी हम फकीरों को मदीने हम फकीरों को मदीने की गली अच्छी लगी हम फकीरों को मदीने की गली अच्छी लगी दूर थे तो जिंदगी बेरंग थी बेकैफ थी दूर थे तो जिंदगी बेरंग थी बेकैफ थी उनके कूचे में गए तो उनके कूचे में गए तो जिंदगी अच्छी लगी उनके कूचे में गए तो जिंदगी अच्छी लगी हम फकीरों को मदीने की गली अच्छी लगी ہم فقیروں کو مدینے کی گلی اچھی لگی. میں نہ جاؤں گا کہیں بھی در نبی کا چھوڑ کر. میں نہ جاؤں گا کہیں بھی در نبی کا چھوڑ کر. مجھ کو کنویں مصطفیٰ کی مجھ کو کنویں مصطفیٰ کی چاکری اچھی لگی. ہم فقیروں کو مدینے کی گلی اچھی لگی. ناز کر تو اے حلیمہ سرور کونین پر. ناز کر تو اے حلیمہ سرور کونین پر. گر لگی اچھی تو تیری گر لگی اچھی تو تیری جھونپڑی اچھی لگی. ہم فقیروں کو مدینے کی گلی اچھی لگی. ہم فقیروں کو مدینے کی گلی اچھی لگی. رکھ دیا سرکار کے قدموں پہ سلطانوں نے سر. رکھ دیا سرکار کے قدموں پہ سلطانوں نے سر. سرور کونوں مکان کی سرور کونوں مکان کی سادگی اچھی لگی. ہم فقیروں کو مدینے کی گلی اچھی لگی. مہر و ماہ کی روشنی مانا کہ اچھی ہے مگر. مہر و ماہ کی روشنی مانا کہ اچھی ہے مگر. سبز گنبد کی مجھے تو سبز گنبد کی مجھے تو روشنی اچھی لگی. سبز گنبد کی مجھے تو روشنی اچھی لگی. آج محفل میں نیازی نعت جو میں نے پڑھی. آج محفل میں نیازی نعت جو میں نے پڑھی. آج محفل میں نیازی نعت جو میں نے پڑھی. عاشقان مصطفیٰ کو عاشقان مصطفیٰ کو وہ بڑی اچھی لگی. ہم فقیروں کو مدینے کی گلی اچھی لگی. خسروی اچھی لگی نا سروری اچھی لگی. ہم فقیروں کو مدینے کی گلی اچھی لگی. ہم فقیروں کو مدینے کی گلی اچھی لگی.
ہم فقیروں کو مدینے کی گلی اچھی لگی. Beautiful naat that you heard here on Salaam Radio. Assalamu alaikum to you, brothers and sisters. Let me treat you to the last track on the program today, Ya Taiba. Junaid Jamshed, the late and great Junaid Jamshed is the reciter of this.
رگوں میں وہ لہو باقی نہیں ہے، وہ دل وہ آرزو باقی نہیں ہے. نماز و روزہ و قربانی و حج یہ سب باقی ہیں، تو باقی نہیں ہے. اے طیبہ امت کا سفینہ، روئے زمین پر کوئی نہیں ہے ऐसा है मदीना ए तैबा उम्मत का सफीना रूए ज़मीं पर कोई नहीं है ऐसा है मदीना कुछ मक्की कुछ मदनी आयते कुरआनी हिजरत की था हुक्म रब्बानी खैरुल अनाम दुरूदो सलाम मुहम्मद इश्क़ रसूल दुआएं हों कबूल अज़मते मदीना या तैबा.
That's just about it from me for today. Thank you very much for listening. Reminder, Europe's refugee crisis, an event that you may be interested in attending. Please do attend. It promises to be a good event. If you want to find out more about the Europe's refugee crisis, Monday the 23rd of October at the John Clare Theatre. Central Library starts at 7 p.m. Refreshments are available and it's a project of refugee support. My thanks to Joe Lammy from the Peterborough Telegraph, Mohammed Saeed from the Community First Residents Association, and also Tony Khan from Refugee Support for their contributions during the program today. And thank you very much, brothers and sisters, for listening. It's been a pleasure as always. Remember me in your du'as. Have a wonderful weekend. That's just about it. Inshallah, back with you on Monday. Allah Hafiz.
To Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
Sadly, millions of